This video is a reflection on Nigeria's paradigm of sex in the general public. Editing Udwak here. It seems I just went straight in, no foreplay. I'm sorry. For those of you that are new here, my name is Udwak. For those of you that know me, hello and welcome back. There will be more editor cuts because I'm trying to make it more coherent and there are some things I did not say. But I hope you stay well and back to our regular programming. I'm still trying to find out how to blow a kiss in a more less awkward way. And I think in Nigeria, as sparse as sex education is, the silver thread that connects every form of education you're going to hear: women are cows. Baked into how we talk about sex, the advice, the warnings, everything about sexuality, about the sexes, centers the man's experience. Is sex is a man's property, a woman is in possession of it, a man has to collect his property from the woman, and the man has the on either renting it out to the woman. I don't see the difference between Nigeria's very restrictive culture and the sexual revolution. Both of them end up still centers the man's experience. Like the woman experience is always missing. The man's experience of sex is common knowledge to even the most prudent, even the most sheltered of the sheltered. But any information or any understanding or any education on the woman's experience in sex is I have to hugu haga on the internet. And the general culture slash church is the men are advised to not fornicate. Well, that is a lie. The advice is to not get a woman pregnant. But the women are advised to not give men sex as the man will not marry you. Subconsciously, subconsciously, if this is all you have gotten, I do not see how subconsciously we do not believe sex is for the man and a woman is just renting the area. Even when we rebel in terms of the sexual revolution, the grand reward is to adapt the most destructive part of sex in a way that benefits men far more than women. I don't hate men. I am actually happy that between the genders, one gender is enjoying the experience of sex on a global level. I am not saying that every woman is affected. I am not saying that before, like, no, Udwak, I'm a woman. I've always loved sex. I'm not saying that. I just think that for people who take the most risk and you should not have to look far and wide on the internet to find out about the general experiences and advice and a way of thinking that centers the woman in sex, regardless of the agenda being pushed, regardless of whether it is sexual purity or sexual immorality, regardless of whatever. The woman's sexuality exists in so much as it is of service to the man's sexuality. Honestly, that is the main patriarchy. And I have been very interested in women's experience of sex generally and the discrepancies. My thesis is the way that we are introduced to sex is worsening the average woman's conception of her sexuality and thus her experience of sex in the world. Now, the disclaimer is there are a lot of things that are influencing sex right now, and I think we are at a crossroad. I think there is progress to be made with women speaking up and things like this. However, I am centering this to Nigeria, and even in Nigeria, I know that there are a lot of things influencing people's perception. So, the generalizations that I am about to make, I am not saying that these are the only things that are being said, but I'm trying to say that these are the most common things that are being said, and these are the things that are being said everywhere. You have seen the title of the video. Yes, it is more of a clickbait, but it's not really a clickbait. Women are cows. I think the main explanation is women, or how it is spoken about women's sexuality, is women are the sex vending machine for men. That is what I get when I hear things like, how can a man buy a cow when the milk is free? Promoting sexual purity. How can a man buy a car when he has not test drive? Promoting the man should sleep with you before marriage. The man is a man. The man is experiencing something. The man wants sex. Sex is a tool in a woman's arsenal to get what she wants from the man. Can I can you tell me one or two things that are missing? Like the woman's sexual experience is missing. The woman serves as a vending machine for sex. So in the you would say conservative movement or Christian or cultural, how can a man buy a cow when the milk is free? It means that if you sleep with a man, how do you expect him to marry you? So as a good cow, yeah. So I withhold the milk. I withhold milk so that he would marry me, so that he can access milk. Then you're growing up, and then you now hear, I'll call them people of the world, right? I must sleep with my girlfriend. After all, how can a man buy a car that he has not test drive? Now I have to show the man what he's getting. And the thing is, if you go to church, the church would say this statement of, nowadays there are people saying, how can a man test drive? You're not a car. You're not a car. Don't let anybody test drive you. But am I a cow? In both of these instances, that whether you want to be a virgin till Jesus comes, or whether you want to be a harlot in God's good earth, where is the woman's experience? Why isn't it a one liner? I think subconsciously, for me, it felt it is as though our bodies do not belong to us. It's not inherent in this worldview that the woman's relation to her body in a sexual way is part of her identity. It is like I have this, but it is in service for a man. You have the sex organ, but it is to be given to the man, and the man has his sex organ, which is also to be given in service of his. Not saying that we should not center the man's experience of sex. I am not saying that. I think there is a reconciliation that must happen collectively in the psyche of women. It's that my our bodies in all its sexual glory belongs primarily to us. Personal view, I don't think we need to exist as suppliers of sex to men, and you reserve the right to not surrender your body to subpar experiences, especially if you're in a long term commitment slash partnership. I'm just going to say this offhanded. There is something called duty sex. A lot of pastors preach it is in a lot of ways to solve the discrepancies in sex in marriage. I just think that that message, duty sex, is inherently, okay, not inherently abusive, but adjacent. I'm trying to see how that does not to be lived out as sexual coercion of the husband to the wife, because as we know, no men need to be preached duty sex to. It's always to the woman. And instead of asking why don't women enjoy sex, we just conclude, "Oh, women don't enjoy sex." But since you have a man and men have needs, women, there is pleasure sex and duty sex. But this is not the video for that. Now, depending on the environment you grow in, some women internalize this message more than others. So I am not saying that every woman here has a bad experience or every woman is destined to a bad sexual experience. I am just saying that is is Russian roulette. Is Russian roulette. And especially in Nigeria, because of how number one is not even spoken about. Number two, there is this hush hush. You know that women have vaginismus and don't even know that something is wrong. They literally think this is how it's supposed to be. In Nigeria, because there is no place to go to be taught about sex in a healthy, safe, and more holistic way, the scope of your sex ed is the bits and pieces you stitched. But fear not, there is sex ed in Nigeria. Do you think Nigerian sex education is going to teach about boundaries, safe sex practices, about to understand your body? Do you think Nigerian sex education is going to tell you that, well, sex is quite different for women, so you cannot participate in sex as though you are a man? I think Nigeria sex education is going to tell you after sex care, hygiene. Do you think Nigerian sex ed is going to tell you that you have to make sure that the man too is very hygienic? Will they warn you that some men don't wash their boxers? Do you think that in the Nigerian sex education you're going to discover when something happens in sex and that is wrong and you should seek help, like pain? No. What do you mean? But there is Nigerian sex education, just none of that rubbish. We are not encouraging fornicators here. This is the house of the Lord. So these are the one liners that you'd probably hear if you're a good girl. How can a man buy a cow when the milk is free? I have already addressed that one. If a man fornicates with you, he does not love you. Do not sleep with a man, he will not marry you. A lock that can be opened by many keys is a key that cannot be opened by many locks, is a pencil and a sharpener. Your husband is not among these boys in secondary school. Anyways, I am in university and I am about to graduate. 6 years in this university. Where's my husband? Sorry. Cover up so you don't lead the brothers to sin. That's just disgusting. Jesus has settled that one. And where Jesus put a period, I cannot put a comma. Let me tell you guys a story. One day, I went with a group of girls to visit a teacher of mine. Teachers just love giving us SS3 girls advice. I think obviously in that time they just talk to students because SS3 girls, it seemed like the hormones just kicked in and they were being ferocious. Well, not me, because okay, but that's just because I just found boys generally a nuisance. But right now, I'm glad to say that I no longer find men nuisance. I just like them to be 5 feet away from me. But we're working on it. I find their company quite interesting from afar. So the teacher said, he said the first thing, he said, when teachers notice that a girl begins to be proud, she begins to be disagreeable, saucy, the teachers look at themselves with their eyes. They look left, they look right. And the eye communication that we've communicated is this girl has eaten the forbidden fruit. She's now a whore. Went on to say, as ladies, the best gift you can give your husband is the gift of your virginity. That's the summary of my sex education. Oh. Sex education that I got unprovoked, that I did not look for, that I was on my own and came to me, does not pass. How can a man buy a car that he cannot test drive? How can a man buy a cow when the milk is free? Men have needs. Your husband is in not in secondary school. The best gift you can give your husband is the gift of your virginity. 5 sentences. These are questions I wanted to ask my teacher. The best gift you can give a man is the gift of your virginity. I want to know how far this gift can buy me in the market. Because as you see, Moses Bliss's wedding that happened, you know, they said from the way she's dressing, we can tell she's a virgin, and in the category of virginity. there are only 5 members left in the group of the 10 virgins. They have already picked, we were 6, they have picked Moses Bliss's wife from us. So it's, the virgins are scarce, they are few and scarce. So we actually, as a representative of the almost virgin group, we need to know what exactly is this gift buying us. Is it that if when because when I marry as a virgin that I am, yes, is it that after that if I cheat, I can now, my husband will forgive me because I've already given him the best gift of my virginity? Is it that my husband will treat me better than these hoes that did not get married as virgins? I really need to know what I'm carrying to the market. I need to know what to demand, because conveniently in everything that was left out was what you are to expect from your husband. The gift, what is his best gift to me? And also, it seems like, okay, Udwak, you're just criticizing the church and the good girl. Even the world, the ones that are supposedly having a monopoly on the sex conversation, it even disgusts me. I don't know which one. Like, it still centers the man. It's still the man at the center. It's just now the man is at the center and the women have to use sex to I don't know, sex to get a relationship. I almost see that one is more confusing because like I don't live there. But the things you hear frequently is, how can a man buy a car he did not test drive? How can I wait when another man hits for free? So basically, if a woman is no longer a virgin and she is like, I reserve the right to give access to my body to you until I believe we have more of a commitment. Not the man. How can I wait when another man hits for free? Like, okay, let us forget maybe when the other man hits for free, she was not like, had maybe low self-esteem, she was not sure of her boundaries, it was coercion, she didn't take care of herself. The man, no, 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 no. Another man has already hit. So that means you it means because you have allowed another man to hit for free, why should I pay? These are the things that make me scared of men. I want just leave my video. I'm very serious. Sometimes I listen to men and I'm like, I want to go home. I just I want to go home. I hear these things and the men say it with so much confidence. I'm shocked. Like, imagine saying, oh, because you wasted money on a girl and you were financially irresponsible and you did it out of a place that of low self-esteem. Because of that, you must spend money on me, even though I have not shown you that I would like something deeper with you. Do you hear how it sounds? Okay, men can learn from their mistakes of financial reckless spending on women who were not worth it. But as long as the woman has allowed a man to hit, it's like women are not human beings that can make different conclusions. She's a program. Conclusion is that in this worldview, for both the good girl and the bad girl, as far as the games of sex are at play, the woman exists as something to be programmed. If A equals B, then C. If you want a husband, then withhold sex. If you are not a virgin, you cannot demand a man to respect your abstinence boundary. If you want a husband, then show him what he's getting. Let us forget the fact that the advices are very contradictory depending on, like, you could hear a man and a cow, a man and a car, but the essence is there is women are we are algorithms. If A then B, if C then D, and it's sad. It's sad. So, okay, we have come to the end of the video. And moving on, I want to end with this one quote. I don't know if it's Aristotle or like somebody else, Socrates, Plato, one of them, who said the unexamined life is not worth living. And with the amount of misconceptions on male centric views and advices and paradigms that the culture gives us, that we inherently adopt by virtue of being born in Nigeria or being raised in the patriarchy. I think there is need, especially if you're a woman, for you to come to an understanding of your sexuality in a way that centers you. If you have if you want a book to help you on your deconstruction book, but heavily focus on how some of the implications on the ways the applications of the church teaching has affected women and their sex lives. So it is called The Great Sex Rescue. It, like, you hear a lot, like, people, the messages we hear is affecting us. It's then, if you want to, you have someone younger than you that you would like to teach them a more holistic relationship that they have with sex, their bodies, and how they want to navigate this world as a woman, then you could get She Deserves Better by the same author. These books have changed my life. They have helped me in terms of they have integrated my faith and statistics. So I'm like, okay, it's not just hearsay. So there are statistics of how harmful these messages are. And also, now this one is not particularly Christian, but it has been very helpful. His name, I'm going to put it, I'm going to, I'm going to put his YouTube channel somewhere. This man is the first man has spoken about sex. And I'm like, that is what I want for my life. That is what I want for my life. It's the way when you watch him, it's very different from other, because obviously, like, I'm going to look at the internet on sex. I didn't like how they were talking about it. The way they were talking about it, like, it's like the woman is a machine. Just the way they talk about it, I'm too shy to explain what they said. So I put it this way: this man, how he speaks about it, the worldview he has resonates with me, and you can check it out. With that said, thank you for watching this video. Bye. Time to edit this video.